Although Ellen DeGeneres has long been a well-liked celebrity in Hollywood, new information draws attention to her. When footage of her attending a contentious Diddy party emerged, it started a frenzy of rumors and investigation. Ellen finds herself at the heart of a media storm that threatens her carefully constructed image as suspicions about her involvement become more and more prevalent. For the queen of daytime television, what does this mean? Come along as we unpack the turmoil involving Ellen and Diddy, exposing the real story behind the headlines and her surprising responses. Dark rumors and scandals at Diddy's parties. Famous music entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs has created famous parties as mysterious as they are glitzy, making him synonymous with extravagance and opulence over the years. Picture expansive estates filled with lively music and colorful lighting that casts shadows over elegantly attired guests enjoying mixed drinks. These get-togethers seem like the height of luxury at first. However, below the glossy exterior, murmurs of accusations point to a murkier side characterized by excess and moral ambiguity. There are rumors of infamous after-parties that describe scenes of unrestrained excess as Hollywood's social classes get together for hedonistic celebration. The boundaries of morality are frequently blurred in this setting, with allegations of drug usage and forced involvement casting a pall over these exclusive gatherings. A story that questions the surface of these glitzy events begins to emerge, revealing a disturbing culture in which influence frequently takes precedence over honesty and power dynamics rule supreme. Celebrity-only events are protected from public view by their exclusivity, which makes them a microcosm of Hollywood's larger problems with transparency and accountability. They also mirror the industry-wide silence that supports such dubious behavior. Revelations from former employees and guests. When the glitz is stripped off, disturbing testimonies from past workers and visitors starkly contrast the well-presented public image of Diddy's parties. These narratives surface as voices echoing through the entertainment industry's hallways, narrating first-hand experiences that show the less glamorous aspects of these well-publicized incidents. Former employees describe being thrown into situations where inappropriate behavior was commonplace, and misbehaving risked jeopardizing their careers and reputations in a cutthroat field. Numerous first-hand stories indicate a culture of intimidation permeates these parties. With the continual fear of being placed on a professional blacklist, many felt forced to remain silent. Previous visitors also recount an environment where they felt forced to engage in immoral behavior or watch silently. It is said that this setting creates a hierarchy that shields the powerful while leaving the weak with no support. These disclosures challenge the acceptance of behavior that has long been justified under the pretext of celebrity excess, speaking to an audience becoming increasingly conscious of the need for accountability in all areas. These testimonies draw attention to themselves, emphasizing the importance of moral principles beyond wealth and celebrity. Diddy's power dynamics. Diddy's legendary standing in the music business supposedly amplifies the complex power dynamics that permeate his social events. These gatherings are characterized as spaces where power is exercised with an iron grip, and the gap between the powerful and the weak becomes glaringly apparent, far from being simple parties. Visitors describe being surrounded by a culture where giving up is expected, and where social forces gently enforce compliance, often against their better judgment. These gatherings' colorful environments hide an undercurrent of control, one in which power and status make resistance appear pointless. The way that excess and privilege are portrayed exacerbates worries about how celebrities might distort human relationships by making it harder to say no to requests that are made implicitly. These events serve as a microcosm of Hollywood's more expansive hierarchical structures, demonstrating how the autonomy and permission of many can frequently be subordinated to the heightened status of a select few. As news stories surface, they present a clear image of a society where authority usually triumphs over individual judgment. This leads to more extensive considerations of moral behavior in affluent circles, and lively debates about reform and openness in the entertainment sector. Ellen's involvement in Diddy's parties raises doubts. With the latest release of video evidence, Ellen DeGeneres' carefully cultivated public persona takes on a new dimension as she is intimately linked to the scandals surrounding Diddy's parties. Ellen is well known for her openness and acceptance, thus it seems contradictory that she would be involved in the infamous atmosphere of these events. There are rumors that Ellen was more involved in private parties that deviated from the significant events and into dubious areas, suggesting that her commitment went beyond simple social partying. This contradiction casts doubt on the integrity of her public persona and calls into question the validity of her branded image as a ray of kindness. As rumors spread, contrasting Ellen's purportedly private actions with her public advocacy sparks a more extensive discussion about celebrity openness. Critics are urging her to confront these increasing contradictions and are demanding that she reconsider her objectives and actions in light of her involvement in these soirees. In light of these accusations, Ellen is being pushed to publicly address the stories that doubt her reputation, establishing the essential precedent for transparency and accountability in her public and private dealings with those in the entertainment business. Ellen's uncomfortable reactions to questions. The audience's curiosity and conjecture are piqued by Ellen DeGeneres' apparent unease and hesitation when asked about her connection to Diddy's contentious parties. Her evasive answers in interviews and public settings contrast sharply with her often self-assured and strong style, implying that these questions address deeper truths than she is ready to reveal publicly. Her supporters and detractors have become intrigued by this change in conduct, characterized by tension and a conspicuous lack of direct responses. As a result, numerous speculations and questions about her involvement and awareness of the activities at these gatherings have been made. Ellen's circumspect comments contradict the public's expectation of transparency, exacerbating calls for clarity and honesty from well-liked figures. Her hesitation just heightens the story, drawing the audience in and making them pay close attention to how she responds to the controversy. Stories of denial become part of an ever-expanding web of inquiry, intensifying curiosity in her connection to the events and casting doubt on her renowned genuineness as every action and word becomes charged with meaning as people look for nuggets of truth. Ellen DeGeneres caught on camera at Diddy's party. Ellen DeGeneres was filmed at one of Diddy's notorious parties, and the clip was made public, sparking uproar and converting rumors into a more urgent reality. This evidence suggests her active participation in these high-profile yet ethically dubious events, providing a visual foundation for rumors. As the video goes viral, people watch little clips and analyze her relationships and degree of comfort in a setting that has long been accused of being morally sloppy. This exposure has an influence that goes beyond the current crisis and touches on more general conversations about the moral obligations associated with celebrities' involvement in dubious situations. Within this lens, Ellen is viewed not only as a figure within the entertainment industry, but as a role model whose presence at such gatherings breaches widespread expectations and values. Her current task is to acknowledge the consequences of her involvement and respond honestly and ethically to these implications. By entering this discussion, she has had to deal with her issues and advance broader social discussions about the bounds of accountability and the necessity of moral behavior for people in positions of power and prominence, particularly in elite societies. Her knowledge of the events and relationship with Diddy. Naturally, people are curious about Ellen's awareness of the contentious nature of Diddy's parties and the extent of her relationship with the renowned music tycoon, given her frequent attendance at his events. Ellen is no stranger to the complexities of the celebrity world. Hence, it begs the issue of whether her desire to attend was driven by a true friendship, business requirements, or the allure of Hollywood's social order. This hypothetical spotlight necessitates reviewing how these relationships fit, or don't, with their openly expressed ideals of kindness and inclusivity, The investigation goes further to see if her participation subtly supports actions that counter her brand's messaging. This information encourages reflection on the intricate network of celebrity ties, exploring the nuances that shape these connections and the moral implications that inevitably arise. Ellen is asked to explain her thinking when stories surrounding her involvement change, emphasizing the difference between her private life and public involvement. To address any disparities between the person she chooses to interact with behind closed doors and the community she presents to the public, she must reconcile her professional persona with her affiliations. Ellen faces backlash over toxic workplace claims. Beyond party affiliations, Ellen's profile is currently being boosted by controversies that coincide with earlier claims of a poisonous work climate on her show. Employee testimonies in the past have revealed a contradiction between the affection on screen and the brutal reality behind the scenes, which has caused a social conversation over the integrity of media personas. Workers previously reported experiencing bullying and prejudice at work, which was in stark contrast to Ellen's acceptance-focused culture. These accounts clarify her role in Diddy's parties and reinforce a past of actions inconsistent with her public stance. Understanding these trends necessitates reevaluating Ellen's impact in various contexts and pushing for an industry-wide dedication to genuine representation in both public and private settings. The ongoing discussion, emphasizing openness and moral business conduct, marks a critical turning point in celebrity culture. These tales can permanently alter public impressions if they are inconsistent with her public message, which calls for a more thoughtful examination of leadership and the moral obligations of people in positions of authority. Former employees confirm toxic environment claims. These claims add to a larger discussion about structural problems with celebrity-run businesses, with voices like DJ Tony Okoa and other former workers exposing disturbing aspects of an uncomfortable work environment under Ellen's control. Employee testimonies reveal instances of mistreatment that are difficult to write off as isolated incidents. Rather, they point to a more widespread, harmful culture that is fostered in her line of work. In light of fame's shielding effect, these testimonies force a reevaluation of managerial procedures and individual accountability. The increasing public awareness of these findings undermines attempts to brush off complaints as isolated incidents, creating significant obstacles to upholding a positive public image. They serve as sobering tales that compel further reflection on how power disparities and celebrity position may foster toxic work environments. This focus on Ellen's leadership draws attention to the need for real reform and accountability systems that harmonize public and private behaviors. These measures will help to shape an ethical discourse that goes beyond the allure of media-created identities and establishes a culture of justice and respect for all parties. Celebrities silent amid Diddy and Ellen scandal. To those watching from the outside, the Hollywood elite's utter silence amid the turmoil surrounding Ellen and Diddy's scandalous stories speaks volumes. This noteworthy reserve on the part of typically talkative colleagues indicates a deliberate decision, probably motivated by the need to protect oneself and one's professional networks. The lack of public comments suggests a climate in which neutrality or complicity prioritizes career over ethics, highlighting a sector more prone to preserving in-group unity than facing brutal realities. These covert coalitions highlight the uncomfortable conflict between responsibility and loyalty in celebrity circles and pique public interest in the lines dividing the allegiances that make up Hollywood's complex web of relationships. By raising important questions about whether this silence is an implicit endorsement or calculated avoidance to protect personal interests, observers help advance the vital discussion about how these power dynamics contribute to continuing harmful behaviors. Under the constant scrutiny of international viewers, this unspoken code raises questions about the conflicts that arise when personal and professional allegiances collide, and calls for knowledge that closes the gap between individual accountability and public action. Hollywood's Code of Silence on Scandals Examined. Speculation about an unwritten Hollywood Code of Silence is raised as fans wonder why so many celebrities remain remarkably silent in the face of scandals like Diddy and Ellen. This unofficial agreement prioritizes discretion, protecting people from criticism in public, and creating an environment where wrongdoing may go unpunished. Silence may be preferred because of an inbuilt need to maintain personal and professional networks, which suggest a culture of collaboration that supports actions that go against social norms of moral conduct. This dynamic calls for a more thorough examination of entertainment industry standards and emphasizes the necessity of reevaluating the ratio of defending allies to promote accountability. Celebrities are under extreme pressure to break free from constrictive standards that could impede growth and perpetuate notoriety over integrity, as public expectations demand greater openness and ethical responsibility. The discourse advocates for a cultural transition that embraces accountability and transparency, bringing industrial behavior into line with the responsible portrayal that the public expects from its iconic figures. Impact of silence from A-list celebrity friends on Ellen and Diddy's controversies. The public perception and the ongoing narratives around these crises can be significantly impacted by the remarkable silence of A-list celebrities who are friends or acquaintances of Ellen and Diddy. This deliberate omission creates a void that encourages conjecture and frequently supports covert tales of loyalty or guilt. In an industry where image and profit are paramount, celebrities who choose not to publicly defend or criticize may inadvertently magnify charges. Observers may interpret this silence as an implied admission of truth or as a defensive measure. The unwillingness to participate directly points to the complex network of connections that controls Hollywood's social dynamics and shows how personal relationships can supersede moral commitments. The discussion around this silence draws attention to the difficult choices that colleagues in the business must make when controversy breaks, reminding stakeholders and viewers alike of the precarious balance upheld by individuals in the celebrity realm. The complex ramifications of this silence force us to think about how these dynamics may affect public trust and the moral standing of influential people in interconnected networks supported by both personal and professional foundations. Ellen's image shattered by toxic allegations. A poisonous climate and stories of mistreatment behind the scenes contrast sharply with Ellen DeGeneres' carefully cultivated persona of warmth and compassion, which has been called into doubt by allegations against her. The stark contrast between her public persona and the realities of individuals who collaborated with her underscores the unstable character of celebrity branding. Stories of haughtiness, harassment, and bigotry surfaced, shattering the picture of kindness Ellen had worked so hard to cultivate and exposing a reality that did not align with her studio's brand. The collapse of this reputation highlights the brittleness of celebrity identity, as prolonged public scrutiny can shatter years' worth of carefully constructed persona. It challenges viewers to consider these public personalities' integrity and roles on and off screen. Her story highlights the dangers celebrities face when their private lives don't align with public image. It also questions what authenticity means in contemporary entertainment and shows how easily accumulating false narratives can destroy decades of goodwill and influence. Ellen and Diddy both face public image challenges. With growing accusations and public opinion turning against them, Ellen DeGeneres and Sean Diddy Combs find it challenging to maintain their once celebrity public personas. Their attempts to preserve their good reputation are made more difficult by every new information or rumor regarding their behavior or involvement in dubious activities. While Ellen has to deal with allegations of toxic work environments and avoid media attention for her participation in Diddy's parties, Diddy has to deal with changes that depict abusive power relationships. Because they are well known, their careers are closely linked to the court of public opinion, where every action and reaction is carefully considered and can be used to reverse or accelerate their downward trajectory. Both negotiate a turbulent environment in which reputation management calls for a deft mix of accountability, openness, and proactive outreach to fans and critics. Their individual experiences highlight how celebrity image management has changed in a period when credibility is valued more than anything else, and show how rapidly even the most robust public personalities can crumble under the weight of mounting scandal. Diddy's private life contradicts public persona. The polished image that Diddy has maintained for decades is put to the test when more details about his personal life come to light, highlighting the sharp contrast between his public success and personal scandals. Hailed as a trailblazing billionaire with a creative edge in music and business, Diddy's accomplishments have long obscured, or maybe made it possible, to ignore criticism of his behavior offstage. His extravagant conduct and manipulation are accused of occurring in his party settings, which adds complexity to his myth of the larger-than-life character. The contrast between his applause from the public and his purported transgressions in private underscores a larger societal conflict over how we balance celebrity and morality. The conflict between receiving praise from the public and experiencing personal setbacks makes people wonder where the boundaries are, questioning the legitimacy of dualities that allow private transgressions to coexist with public admiration. Diddy's predicament makes people consider whether conduct fits into successful narratives and whether successes can cover up scandals that contradict society's standards of openness and moral rectitude. Speculation on Ellen's controlling relationships. In the middle of her troubles with her public persona, Ellen DeGeneres is subject to ongoing gossip casting doubt on her behavior in her personal life, especially regarding claims that she is domineering in relationships. These stories, which frequently focus on her marriage to Portia de Rossi, draw comparisons between her allegedly dictatorial actions at work and those she experienced at home. Even though they are conjectural, these rumors provide a prism to look at how power dynamics can creep into intimate relationships, opening up a larger conversation about the meanings of autonomy and control. The examination goes beyond participation in public life and invites analysis of the complex dynamics of high-profile marriages where conflicts between private and public lives collide. This curiosity deepens Ellen's story and broadens the public's comprehension of the difficulties in their interaction and the layers that must be sorted through while negotiating celebrity relationships. These rumors impact Ellen's public image while advancing more extensive discussions about celebrity, individual freedom, and the subtle ways innate power disparities can appear in both personal and professional spheres. Portia feels trapped amid Ellen's power. Rumors about Portia de Rossi's emotional struggles in her relationship with Ellen DeGeneres shed light on the interpersonal problems that can occur when a person's personal agency clashes with a significant partner's influence, publicly and privately. One theory is that Ellen's enormous celebrity presence, she openly rules as a partner and a giant of the industry, may make Portia feel limited. Accounts of mental health issues highlight the pressures and sense of helplessness experienced by people associated with influential people. The relationship serves as a talking point for conversations about the more general effects of influence in partnerships, highlighting the importance of empathy and understanding. These stories cast doubt on notions of privilege and make readers consider the personal consequences of public affiliations in well-known unions. Stories of emotional turmoil that emerge alongside Ellen's public controversies add a humanizing element to the conversation, offering insight and meaning to the complex web of celebrity marriage dynamics in which notoriety imposes unanticipated restrictions on one's freedom and mental health. Ellen DeGeneres faces backlash for past behavior. Ellen DeGeneres is still affected by the cyclical nature of public controversy as past claims reappear amid current crises to cast doubt on the consistency of her public persona with her purported private behavior. Prior critiques of her behavior and the prevalent attitudes on her show provide a rich source of material for a re-examination, highlighting previous grievances and current accusations. This rebirth supports the idea of persistent behavioral patterns that supporters and detractors are less inclined to ignore. The circumstance highlights celebrities' challenges in balancing personal development with public confessions of previous transgressions. It encourages a more thorough investigation of real reform in the face of shifting social norms. Ellen's past is being revisited in public debate, and this ongoing examination is igniting a larger discourse about celebrity accountability and the importance of media icons navigating transparency, change, and redemption. Her continuous struggles show how difficult it can be to uphold trust with both familiar and unfamiliar audiences, and they also show how the past may influence, and occasionally upset, the current course of identity and image management in the public domain. Ellen may face legal consequences in investigation. The developing scenario gains weight from Ellen DeGeneres' possible legal ramifications for her affiliation with Diddy's controversial parties. If inquiries indicate that she was aware of or involved in illicit activity, she might be subject to cross-examination in court as a defendant or witness. Global attention would be drawn to such developments, shifting the conversation from speculative accusations to formal accountability under legal systems. The possibility of a federal investigation might permanently change the situation by transferring the focus from public opinion to judicial rulings and solidifying her involvement in the alleged wrongdoing through testimony. This crucial move forces Ellen to face her involvement head-on and has enormous implications for her personal and professional lives. The shift to legal action highlights the gravity of these disputes and shows that even well-known individuals might face legal consequences. It raises more general questions about the value of accountability and the changing moral norms governing prominent behavior in the entertainment industry, where the relationship between the law and celebrities shapes conversations about accountability and openness. Ellen's career at risk due to Diddy's scandal. Ellen's career may suffer long-term consequences due to the intricate web of charges surrounding Diddy's controversies, which could go beyond the immediate outcry from the public. Her professional network is severely strained by controversies, jeopardizing her relationships with sponsors, networks, and business associates who must balance public opinion with profit margins. If the accusations are confirmed, her brand's integrity, based on compassion and humor, will be compromised, necessitating a thorough review of her public appearances and plans. The unstable nature of celebrity status is highlighted by this changing scenario, where maintaining one's reputation is essential to withstanding criticism from the public. Ellen's story provides a crucial lesson about reputation as a cornerstone of a career that, if shaken, runs the risk of overpowering existing achievement. It sheds light on the erratic nature of professional celebrity. It discusses how the entertainment sector handles accusations that question fundamental tenets of identity and public trust, forcing stakeholders to consider adaptability and change in the face of criticism within celebrity-driven businesses. Potential fallout on Ellen's future projects linked to Diddy. Ellen's relationship with Diddy amid protracted legal disputes might significantly impact her future initiatives and change the course of her relationships, sponsorships, and projects. The changing narrative prompts stakeholders to reevaluate risks, and brands and collaborators are being cautious to safeguard reputational equity in light of the evolving public perception. Ellen's professional landscape has been significantly shaped by the discussions around this investigation, which highlight the crucial relationship between commercial viability and personal reputation. As parties reassess alignments and ethical considerations, the disputes are essential reminders of the interwoven relationship between societal perception and corporate strategy and illustrate industry dynamics. Ellen's story functions as a reputation management cautionary tale by highlighting the substantial impact that public associations can have on corporate aims. As these conversations progress, they underline the necessity of a deliberate realignment between public personalities and corporate partners, with narratives of accountability, promoting moral standards in both the creative and commercial domains closely linked to global audiences' changing perspectives and values.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon